Welcome, everyone, to the Paranormal Pride. I'm your host, Denise Pridemore, and my co-host tonight is that Ron Pridemore guy. You know, the guy I'm married to. I had to have him on here.
Yeah, I didn't have to.
No, I didn't have to, but he's here. So
I signed a new contract with her, and here I am.
So, welcome, everyone. My guest tonight.
$2.2 million deal.
2.2. That's is that the number that I keep telling Lemon?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I keep telling them. They want me to come back, 2.2. So our guest tonight is Connor Biddle. Some of you may have seen him recently on Alien Nation. You know, they've been doing all kinds of replays of some of their stuff. And also on YouTube. He's still very active on YouTube. So go out there and check out Paranormal Encounters and see what Connor's up to. He's always up to something and getting down into something too sometimes. So
probably got some new stuff.
Yes, he's got some new stuff. So I'd like to welcome Connor Biddle to the show.
Hey.
How you doing?
Yep.
Good. Thanks so much for having me, you guys.
Yeah, we've been watching.
Thanks for coming on. We've been trying to get you for a while.
Well, no, here's what happened.
I love your show.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like watching that.
So
I like how you investigate.
Thank you.
So what happened was David Glidden has been telling me for years. Okay, I've been doing this show for almost 10 years now. He's been telling me for years to have you on, but you always look so busy. So I never really asked because I thought you'd be too busy. And I should know better that, you know, everybody with the show wants to peddle their show, but I just didn't ask. So I asked, you said yes, here you are. Story's over. But yeah, David has nothing but great things to say about you.
Well, thank you.
He really respects you and your work, and and just so you know, David's our paranormal kid. He's one of the few in the
one of many.
One of many. We have way more paranormal kids than we do have real kids.
Yeah.
But
yeah, a good guy.
Hello, Mom.
He is, and you know, I remember, you know, we have a lot of stories with David. Let's just say that. You know, probably stuff I shouldn't share. Or maybe I should
share some.
You may need them. Well, I will tell you something he hates. He hates if you call him at 2 a.m. with a drunk friend who wants to talk to him. He hates that.
For a while.
Yeah.
Well, I might have to call him at 2 a.m. I don't drink, but I might have to call him at 2 a.m. just to mess with him.
Yeah, neither do we. He loves it.
Neither do we. But the drunk friend, Jason Snyder of Dark Realm TV, we were all together in one place, and I started talking about David, and he goes,
let's call him.
I know David, let's call him. And it's like, I know David too, but I'm not going to call him because I had known he was at the villa that night doing an event. He had just gotten to sleep. So, yeah. So needless to say, David doesn't like that. I also hear he does not like snow.
Yeah, me and him both share that. I've got like still 9 inches of snow in my backyard right now. I hate it.
So where are you at?
I live in Michigan.
Oh, well,
okay.
you want to know what? Then you would feel very much at home here in our town in Florida. We are the snow capital of Florida. Not now. The snow's all gone. But we had 10 inches of snow here.
Wow. Yeah, you know when there's snow in Florida, it's a bad winter.
Oh,
yeah.
So.
Hello, Tom.
Hey, Tom. Hi, Mom. And hey, Kevin. I know you're not in the chat room yet, but hey, Kevin. So, but yeah, our town was on the news for all the snow that we got. And for 3 days, people couldn't go anywhere because we don't have snowplow equipment.
Yeah, I don't think Florida's prepared for snow.
No.
You know, when you think of Florida, you think of like tropical hot weather and palm trees and stuff, you know.
But think about this.
We don't even get the freezing.
No. We have all the sand that you could possibly want to put on the road. And it's saltwater sand, so it should work. So they could have done something there.
True.
But they did eventually find that we have 11 snowplows in the whole state.
They're not really snowplows.
They're double duty.
Oh my God.
Are you from Michigan?
Not born and raised. No, I just moved up here last year, so I born and raised in Indiana.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so I lived all over the country though in the last like 15 years. I mean, I've got Colorado, Nevada, South Carolina, Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, uh, a little bit in California, now Michigan. There's probably another one I'm missing, but yeah, mostly all those states.
Where in
Wow.
South Carolina did you live?
Greenville.
Oh, well,
Oh, okay.
our kids live in Easley.
Oh, okay. That's literally, I mean, technically it's
I
on
know.
the Springville. It's
I
right
know.
there.
Yeah. And then I know you lived in Vegas. You have a
Yes.
daughter who lives in Vegas.
Yeah, I loved Vegas. I loved living there. I lived there for like 6 years.
Yeah. My daughter loves it. She loves being the general manager of the Rainforest Cafe.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. I was
Yep.
sure. I used to go there all the time when I was a kid.
Well, she wouldn't have been there then. She's not that old. Thank God. You know,
Hey,
or let's
Crystal, hey,
just
Gary,
say this: we're not that old
and Kevin.
for that. So, boy, we got all kinds of people in here. So, what got you started in the paranormal?
Well, I had an interest when I was a kid. I had an experience when I was a kid. Cliche, everybody says that story, but it happened to me. But in high school, me and my friends were always very curious in the paranormal and just like some thrill stuff. We were stupid teenagers. And what really got me started was going to Waverly Hills Sanatorium. And that's literally the first ever actually publicly known haunted location I went to where I had an experience. And then still stuck in the back of my mind. And then decided to do a documentary in 2012. And since then, I've been doing ghost hunting or paranormal investigating, whatever we call it now.
Well, you know, there's so many people out there that are paracurious that never ever go beyond their computer or a book to
Yeah.
actually get out there and get their feet wet.
Keyboard investigators. I've also said cowboy investigators.
Well, I mean, isn't that how everybody investigates Bigfoot and UFOs?
Yeah, true.
Seems
True.
like anyway.
Mhm.
You know, I remember when I met Linda Godfrey.
Okay.
And she passed, of course. Very nice lady. But she was telling me how that she conducted all of her interviews for people who saw Bigfoot. And it was over the phone and Zoom and Skype and, you know, internet, Google Maps, Google Earth. And I'm like,
Well,
I was like, okay.
thank God to technology. You know, you could interview somebody from California living in New York and never have to leave your house, you know?
Right.
Yeah, but I mean,
That's what she did.
yeah, but she was actually looking for Bigfoot prints and scanning maps to see if she could see Bigfoot. And I'm like, I don't get it. I just didn't get
Wow.
it. But I don't know. In any of your investigations, because, you know, after watching Paranormal Encounters, you do a lot of stuff in a lot of places. And I know that the things that we've seen on Alien Nation are a few years old.
Yeah. I'm surprised I saw an Alien Nation too, which is crazy because I never even heard of the network, and I worked out a deal with a company, a distribution company, and now everybody's talking about Alien Nation. I'm like, I didn't even know it was that popular. So
It's on.
I didn't even know it was on there. I was looking through maybe a year ago, and looking at every channel, and I thought, what's this Alien Nation? And I saw Paranormal Encounters, some shows that I would like. And I went, hey, I set them all up to tape. There's a couple others I set up to tape. So I've been watching. These are all new to me. I mean, there's lots of episodes I got to see.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, there's probably 60 plus episodes right now at this moment. Probably
Well,
more.
at least now you know somebody's watching it.
Yeah, which is really cool. I'm glad.
yeah.
Well, they got a
Now,
deal.
a lot of the places you've been to, we've been there too.
Good.
That's what's really good.
Yeah.
Kind of save those for the last.
Yeah.
To watch.
Yeah. Our claim to fame is we were the tour guides at the Sally House for 7 years. And
wow.
I was on Ghost Adventures for that. So was he and our daughter, but they didn't get to talk. I got to talk quite a bit. but yeah, we did that back in 2014. And
No, they asked them some questions, and they said, "Have you seen anybody get scratched?" And I said, "Right in front of my face." And at the time, I said, "No." Denise has been scratched a lot of times there. We've had other people got scratched, but I never actually saw somebody get scratched till one day this guy came in. He got scratched right in front of us.
Wow.
And it was bleeding, and it stopped bleeding. When I said, "Go get a towel, wipe the guy's back," it disappeared. It was gone.
That is spooky. I never got
While we were
scratched
looking
outside
at it,
the
I said,
house.
"Did we just see that?" And it's like, "Oh, okay."
so
Weird place.
Tom asks if you got your home fixed after the tornado.
Actually, I moved. I was living in an apartment. It was literally like not habitable for 30 days or so. I still had my bedroom window blown out, and there were still trees. It just looks like a battlefield at this point. And I decided just to move. So moved and got a house apartment now. So it's a lot nicer of the apartment than I had, but that was beyond repair. Like it was literally scary for me to want to be there still because I did have woods in the backyard, like out my bedroom window, you could see woods. And after the tornado, it was a open field. So like I'm surprised that building was still standing, having thousands of trees get sucked up and went somewhere. And the building to me just didn't feel safe, so I didn't want to be there anymore anyway.
Oh, well, yeah.
Where was that at?
That was in Portage, Michigan. So that happened May
Oh, okay.
7th of last year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So my car got smashed into by a tree, got trapped, and it was just a ungodly scary experience I've ever had. I never want to do that again. I still have PTSD from it, unfortunately, with storms or even any kind of tornado indication or warning or whatever. And yeah, it just was not repairable.
Yeah. We lived in Kansas Kansas and Missouri. He grew up in Missouri, but we lived there in one of those two states for 40 years. So
Wow.
we saw tornadoes and everything, but I was never actually in one that I knew of until we moved here.
Wow. Of
It was
course.
like, why?
Oh, I guess I've seen 8 now.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah. Our daughters called us. We were taking the truck back to the rental place, and I'm behind him in the car, and they call me crying, going, and these are adult children, so they're not little kids. Mom, find some place safe and go there because you're in a tornado.
Oh my God. Yeah, I remember all those tornadoes that were going on in Florida. I was like, wow, Florida is just getting hit from every direction. That was a pretty scary experience last year. I hope to God this year there's not that many tornadoes because I live in a new development area, so it's like open, and I don't have a basement, so I don't want that to happen again.
Well, hopefully it doesn't. And usually, how far north are you? Are you in Michigan? Are you in the northern part or the bottom of the mitten or the top?
The mitten. I always thought it was funny. People told me like, "This is where you are." I live over by. I'm still close to Portage. So I'm bottom left, bottom left, right? South,
So do
east,
they get a
southwest.
lot of tornadoes there?
I
don't think so.
I was told that there's not really supposed to be a lot of tornadoes, and I just so
Right.
happened to move to the state, lived in my apartment for less than 30 days, and a tornado happened almost every week. Yeah, I don't know. There was like, I want to say, I could be wrong, so I could be wrong, but I think somebody told me 40 or 50 tornadoes last year in Michigan or something like that, which was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it was a different year for that up there.
Yeah, they seem to migrate more north this year.
Yeah.
migrate
Ohio and
southwards.
Illinois got quite a few.
Pennsylvania
And Iowa.
Pennsylvania even got some. And
Yeah, they could just go to the ocean. I don't want them to be over here.
they here they usually spawn up because of hurricanes, but our tornado season is now between January and March. So when, like in Kansas, when they have their bad weather between March and June,
yeah.
we have it earlier. So we'll start having thunderstorms and all that stuff here anytime.
Mhm.
So, but in fact, I from what I understand, we may see some. Oh, this area may see some. We won't see anything. We'll be on a cruise. It can rain, storm all at once. We'll be gone.
Yeah. I'll be on a cruise if there's more tornadoes.
Oh, well, we planned this out back in October. Yeah.
Very cool.
So I guarantee that they may be putting the entire family on a boat, on a dinghy, and giving us paddles and telling us to get the hell off their boat.
Get off.
Well,
Probably.
you haven't met the family yet. But we're looking forward to it regardless. It's going to be fun, be with everybody and laughing. But so you had an experience as a kid, and your first experience was at Waverly Hills?
No, as an
investigator, I mean.
Yes. I'm trying to think here. Yes, it is. That was in 2010. I got my timeline. There's so many things that have ever happened to me in the paranormal. It's hard to keep up with the year timeline. But yes, my first ever real experience for the paranormal, when I say real, I mean like actually in person, it was Waverly Hills. I spoke to a ghost, which is kind of crazy to say. And I caught some pictures and some voice recordings. That was so long ago now, 15 years ago.
No, it's hard to believe, isn't it, when you think back?
Yeah.
How long it
It's
was.
hard to believe how long we've been doing it.
Right. But
for me, it's just been every day for 55 years or more. So it's just part of it's been part of my everyday. But so why did you decide to start Paranormal Encounters?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I felt like my life was going nowhere when I was just freshly out of high school, and I went to college for like a year and a half, and I kind of hated it because I didn't really have any kind of craft that I was skilled at or I wanted to do. And I went to college for a year and a half, and you get your little extra funds left over from your loans. And I was watching, I was an avid watcher of Ghost Adventures. And I was like, man, that's really cool, because I always liked the paranormal and stuff when I was a kid. I've always liked the creepy, weird stuff, and I was always a weird kid, anyways. And I was gonna do the military, and I was on my way to go to boot camp, and I was thinking to myself, like, like how it'd be so cool to have your own show, like go out and go ghost hunting and stuff like that, just do that for a full-time job. And then I saw Dakota Layden. At the time, he was obviously not a ghost hunter. He had a YouTube channel, and he went to a school, and he caught some lockers opening. And I was like, man, that school was creepy. And that was for our elementary. And I was like, you know what, I could probably do that, and I had no idea what the heck to do, how to film, how to edit, how to do ghost hunting. I want to say it was October of 2012. I was in my second year of college, and I decided to take my loan out and go buy a bunch of random ghost hunting stuff that was even the thing at the time. And I tried to contact that school. I got obsessed with it, and the school let me come out to try to shoot a documentary. It was just gonna be a documentary. And I went there and had some really weird experiences, and felt like I was like gifted of some weird sort, kind of egotistical back then. And because I was having weird experiences, I decided to do another video because the documentary seemed to do really well. This was before YouTubers were a thing. So the video did well, and I kept doing it because every place I kept going to, I just kept having experiences. I was like, this is just weird. And it just got crazier the more and more I kept doing it. So I hope that answers your question, because I kind of was a little bit more wordy.
I'm not worried about it. We got an hour and a half, or however much time you have.
It does seem like the more you do it, the more activity you run into.
Yeah.
What I've found.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even at the fourth episode that I did, was it 4? Yeah, it was the fourth one. So I went to Edinburgh Manor. that is where actually I saw a ghost, and I knew for 1000% I was going to keep doing it as long as I could, because when I saw an actual ghost and apparition of a little girl, that was my moment where I knew that I feel like this was like my calling, so to speak. I needed to keep exploring the paranormal and figure out what it was. And my passion for the paranormal just kept growing more and more. And I kept getting this like addictive feeling where I needed to keep going to places.
Well, you got a hey Connor from Debbie Cushman.
Hey, Debbie. Yeah, hey, Debbie Cushman. I haven't spoke with her in so long.
Is she the one that just sold the Octagon Mansion?
Yeah. Oh
I
my
was gonna
God. I
say, it
saw that
sounds familiar.
today. I was going to reach out to John because I did not know that they were getting rid of the Octagon.
Yeah,
That's
I was just
terrible.
talking to Sean and Courtney last week. We talked to Sean, and they were talking to us
Mhm.
about John and Debbie, and it was like, well,
I
that
didn't know they were selling it.
sounds like a great place. But yeah, he said something about them having to sell it.
Maybe, yeah.
So
Yeah, that was the first place I started my YouTube channel, have 7 original episodes, stopped doing it for years, went back to do it in 2019, and Octagon Mansion was my first episode I did when I went back to revamp YouTube. And I had a rock thrown at me. So it was really cool to experience that there. So I loved the Octagon. Octagon is a really cool place to investigate.
well, you better hurry up if you want to get down there again.
I know. March,
You
I
got till
think.
March 15th, I guess, to
Yeah.
visit. So, but it's sad, but you know, people need, well, as you found out, people have to move on.
Mm-hmm. Can't do things forever. I can't do YouTube forever. I'm getting old.
So when you decided to, what were you going to college for to begin with? Well,
Just general studies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
So
want to get general studies over with and just kind of like sort of figure out and feel like what I was feeling like going for a field to study. But I've always liked, when I was a kid, like I always I love Scooby Doo and I still do. And I liked in the early 2000s the real like live action Scooby Doo. And so I'd always pretend I was filming and I was in the scenes with my friends and stuff like that and do camera work and stuff like that. So like I always liked it being creative and having that aspect of creating things with my hand or something out of nothing. And I think like the film stuff was always there. Just that I just never. I mean, film school would have been ungodly amount of money, but
Oh yeah.
so like I just went out and just did it myself. I'm self-taught on all my stuff.
So is David.
Yeah, David is too.
So I
He's
know
really good.
I know how hard you guys work to be self-taught, especially to put out quality work.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I just spent the last 2 days filming in a row, so I'm kind of dead inside right now. So I've been trying to work really hard the last couple days since I've been stuck home from the snow.
So do you have a day job?
Not right now. No, I do YouTube full time. Been doing YouTube full time since October.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it's paying the bills, and that's all that matters.
Pretty much just the rent right now, but hopefully one day enough to survive and buy food or something with it.
Well, you've got a 14-year-old. You can always send her to work at McDonald's, and they get free food.
Yes. Yes, she does.
Or Chick-fil-A, since the kids love Chick-fil-A.
So let everybody know what your YouTube channel is and
you want me to say
all your
right
information.
Now? You want me to say it right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, it's youtube.com/paranormal encounters. If you type in paranormal encounters, you'll find it. I was lucky enough to get that handle back then, but yeah, you can find even on Alienation, like you guys have mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
It's on Roku, Redbox, Plex, Apple TV, and probably way more than that I know about. But there's a lot of places on. I'm trying to get as many places as I can.
So Redbox actually became streaming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was on the streaming platform.
Company that used to own Redbox before they sold it.
Yeah, I didn't work for Redbox.
He didn't work for them, but he worked for one of the subsidiaries. So
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was strange how Redbox put a lot of companies out of business.
It was, yes, and it's strange how Netflix did the same thing as Blockbuster.
Yes.
But,
Well, you know, the Redbox stuff was actually presented to Blockbuster
mm-hmm.
to do that, and they said
Mm-hmm.
no. So it was who'd have thunk. So
that's what happened when you have people in power who have no creative mindset or open mindset about the future of business and stuff. I'm constantly thinking about the future for YouTube. Like, where is this platform going to be at? Is it eventually going to get banned like TikTok? Where am I going to go after this? You know, like I'm always constantly every day thinking about those type of things, of like futuristic stuff. So got to think that way. Got to be open minded.
well, at least, you know, somebody stepped in. We're not going
Yes.
to get political, but somebody stepped in, and TikTok is there for the people who want to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, with some parameters to keep people from taking your information and pirating your stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's the bigger problem that people don't realize, is that a lot of stuff can get pirated off of there, even worse than YouTube.
I mean, yeah, it happens to me all the time on YouTube. I get sick and tired of doing copyright strikes against channels, but they like to steal it just to try to make money off the videos. But it's like, it really is upsetting because it's like I worked and paid for those places and traveled and paid all that money in those places, and people want to take it just to take money and make money off the videos for free. And nothing's free in life. I work hard for everything I try to do and where I'm at right now.
Well, you know, that's where the respect comes in. People don't realize how much work is involved. You know, for us, it's not any work. It's fun. You know, we like investigating with our friends and meeting people and all the other stuff. We're not putting it out on YouTube and all these places. We're just goofing off. And if we help somebody along the way, that's even better. You know, I've learned a lot from all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, please read for everyone. So now the truth comes out. We're in the process of buying the mansion when it was sold out from under us to a realtor who thought he could flip it.
Yeah.
He realized that the repairs would cost him more than he wanted to put in it. So it's been up for sale for over a year, and it had an offer, and the offer was accepted. So the museum must go.
Probably take it or leave it. Hey, Dara.
Oh, that's some shady stuff.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
So Dara, that nice hat is almost as old as you. He's had that hat for 20 or more years. So
just didn't become a Chiefs fan yesterday.
No. Oh, you're not a bandwagon fan?
Oh no.
Well, you would have had to been a bandwagon fan for 3 years at this point. Yeah. Sorry. I'm one that jumped off the bandwagon back in
the Super Bowl Invitational
2017. I jumped off of all the NFL bandwagons in 2017. And I was a Ravens fan, so
wow. I'm not really much of a sports guy. I never had time to watch sports. I never really got into sports. To be honest with you, don't shoot the messenger here, but I don't really like football, so I don't really watch it.
You're in a really bad place to not like football.
I know.
It's huge in Michigan.
I know.
Well, and college football and stuff was huge in Indiana.
Man.
Yeah, it is.
Basketball is huger.
I used to like basketball, but
well, you know, we all do what we got to do. You know, he can sit there and watch the game for 4 or 5 hours, and I can sit here on my phone for the same amount of time and still be just as brain numb as anybody. So I have a question. I noticed in the episodes you guys use GhostTube a lot.
I used to use GhostTube, but yes.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you still use that.
No, I don't use it anymore. I used it when it was a fad, I guess you can, whatever you want to call it, but yeah, I don't use it anymore. People keep bugging me. No, I shouldn't say bugging. That's a terrible word. I'm sorry. That's not the word I'm trying to say. They keep asking me to use GhostTube, and I just don't want to use it.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was like a sponsorship with them that you guys used that or not.
Technically, I was the first one to ever buy the Seer goggles. I didn't really buy it. I got it as a trial to see how Amazon will work. Jared, if you guys know who made it, it's Amy and Jared from YouTube, from Amy's Crypt. And Jared had me make an order get it shipped to me from their Amazon, because they live in Australia and America, and I got it shipped to my house. I got the first one ever, and then they gave me a free subscription for doing it. So I used Seer for about a year or so. Ghost Tube we were using too, because they were giving me and Paranormal Quest, another YouTube channel, the ability to use it, and we used it for a while, and then we both kind of just like stopped using the Ghost Tube and stuff.
Do you know any of the technicalities behind it?
He's explained it to me. Yeah, I do trust Amy and Jared as far as like the fakery that goes on YouTube. I know that they don't fake anything. I've investigated with them at the Crescent Sanatorium. They're really nice people and good people, and they explained how it works. But my mind and my intelligence is not that smart in code stuff, so I don't exactly know what all that means he talks about. But he's more than willing to share the open code and all that stuff like that with people, so they can see that it's not listening to your microphone or anything like that. I did use Seer at a family haunting, and it did give me results that were ungodly crazy, that I never said the word or any of these specific keywords. That it was giving me images of this woman whose husband died, and they were showing me images of their memories and a significant thing where she experienced on the images, and the images are all unique. So like no one in the world will have the same image that you ever get. So which makes it really cool. And so I thought that was very profounding to actually get something like that going on. That's when I was using heavily, but again, I don't really use it anymore. So I knew that it did work for sure. I think spirits can manipulate any device. It doesn't even matter what it is. I know a lot of people hate the apps, and a lot of fake YouTube channels will use the apps and drive their own narrative. But my experience with them, I mean, I had stuff happen that I just couldn't explain that correlated with what was going on, that I never said words, where a microphone could have been listening to me. Unless it could read my mind, it couldn't. I don't know. It was really strange.
Yeah.
Well, reading your mind is also supernatural, so that's okay.
As long as reading my mind, I'm in trouble.
I don't understand why a lot of people like to fake, a lot of stuff, because I mean, I don't know what they get out of that, other than, maybe some ratings. But we all know that you've been in enough places that you go in there and sometimes it's just not very active.
Yeah, no. The episode that's coming out, not this week, but the following week, will be one of those. I just show people how it is.
Yeah, that's what happens.
I don't want people to think it's very difficult to build a culture on YouTube where people are used to, oh my God, there's not much stuff happening. This is a good episode still. Or, wow, there's a lot of stuff, and make a big deal about things. Because when I have an experience, I take it as a big deal. Like if I had a door open on me, you better shit, but I'm going to have the whole video focused on that door, because that is not something that's supposed to happen.
Oh, yeah.
If there's any way to not find a logical reason for it. So like a lot of YouTube channels don't really see it. Like they'll capture a ghost and they don't make a big deal about it. But like to me, I want people to, I'm building an audience on YouTube where they're used to not having stuff happening all the time, because if you have stuff happen all the time, it's not realistic, because that's not how the paranormal works. It's not going to happen all the time. It doesn't happen every 5 seconds. That's just stupid. So
there are those rare occasions where you just get something, I mean, one after another. That's when it's fun.
Yeah. This episode is coming out this weekend. Is really freaking spooky. I just filmed last night and Saturday. So last night episode, whatever, was very spooky. I went in this house alone and I can't really say it, but I had some stuff happen that is probably a once in a million kind of a thing, So
can't wait to see it. Of course, they'll be after the cruise, so
yeah. Wait to watch it on the cruise, I guess, but
no. I am not paying for the Wi-Fi. It's almost $30 a day, so you're not worth $30 a day.
Yeah. Jeez, Pete. Nope.
Yeah. I mean, if I'd have bought it sooner, it still would have been $18 a day, but it's still not worth it.
No, it's not worth it. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So the only time people can reach me is when I'm on the ground in Mexico.
There you go.
So, and then they better be messaging me, because I ain't paying 25 cents a minute for a call.
So
pay attention, people.
So what kind of equipment do you like to use now?
Excuse me, I'm so sorry.
I beat Gary. I just beat Gary.
Gary asked what your favorite piece of equipment is.
Yeah, I sneeze. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It just happened.
Yeah. I like to be very minimalistic, or whatever the word
Yeah.
is. I don't like to have a lot of gadgets that are flashy because a lot of the stuff that people build now are pretty much the same thing. I like to use the Epoch device a lot. It's the yes or no device because there's no way to manipulate it. You can't manipulate it by radio frequency like a REM pod. You can't connect it to the app. There's no way to plug into it. It's literally just a circuit board that lights up green for yes and red for no. And I've had intelligent conversations with spirits that just make it absolutely amazing. My friends have one, and their
Is that built
lights.
by a guy in Iowa?
I think he's from Iowa.
Yeah.
I don't know where
Okay,
he's
that's we
from.
wanted to get one of those.
It's so
Yeah,
nice. They don't make my box anymore that I have now. I have the first
Right.
gen when they stopped making it, but
Yeah.
my
He
box,
makes, they're limited. Every
Yeah.
version he makes is limited. So
which is makes it nice. I just hope
Yeah,
the God
those-
nothing happens to mine.
Yeah, we wanted to get one of those, but he was in the process. When we talked to him, he was in the process of changing manufacturers. He wasn't happy with the people that were doing it before.
it was in
Yeah.
China.
So he said, just let us, he goes, I'll let you know
And I've lost track.
that we haven't heard anything back. But he said, when I change and I'm satisfied, then he goes, then order one.
Plus, we
Yeah.
moved in the middle. So
Yeah,
you
you
move
can
from
buy one
Kansas
now
to
on
Florida,
Amazon.
you
Yeah.
lose track of everything.
Yeah, his new version has the voice where it literally says yes or no. And like you can buy on Amazon now instead of his shop on his website. But that's one of my favorite pieces of equipment to actually use right now. And then I have a new device, a laser wire, tripwire. I don't
Oh,
really
yeah.
know the word I even really use for it, but anyways, I think it's a little bit it's cool because something also happened with that one on this. What happened last night, which was really spooky, and so that's another one piece of equipment that's becoming my favorite, but definitely the Epoch device. I just use the Epoch device, REM pods, capos occasionally, voice recorders, and the fan tune device, which is like a motion detector. Um, that's pretty much it, honestly. I don't really use too much. I feel like sometimes people think this is boring because I'm like using this only like the very little bit of equipment, but I feel like less is better because I mean that's what the old saying is. And it is true because if I have all these gadgets there, it's too much to receive information from people that watch because there's too much to keep up with, and people who are not avid watchers don't understand the equipment. And if it's something simple, it's easier to understand and follow through with.
So this is gonna sound weird, possibly. I don't know. But it is paranormal, so it's supposed to be. The question I have is when you've been investigating, and this is not about the age of a spirit, but how long they've been dead. Okay. What is the shortest? Yeah, how far back? And how soon? I mean, how soon after they died have you heard from them? And how far back in time have you
two-part question?
Yeah, kind of. It is a two-part because some people will say, well, we all know there's an asshole out there that tries to get everybody within 5 minutes of their death to talk to them. And
ambulance chasers, we call those.
Yeah.
You're right. So how far back have you witnessed a spirit, and how early after they died has it been on some of them?
I can answer your second question because your first question, I'll have to think about it for a second. Because I want to say maybe last night's, but your second question, which is I think the soonest somebody passed away, I want to say I spoke with, is probably a year and a half, 16 months. That goes back to that place where I investigated and spoke with that woman's husband, helped her communicate and move on from have some closure. He was 16 months past when I went and investigated their house. And I want to say the furthest back is about 100 and what's the math on that? 150-ish years, I want to say, is the furthest I've been back that I know of. Because like those are some things that people don't really ask is like, how old are you? Or like they don't really go back and try to ask questions like that I know of. I don't know too many people that actually try to figure out how old somebody is. But
Always
that's
have some history to go on. Whether or not it's factual history is a whole different problem.
right.
But you know, like, I'm going to bring up an investigation I recently saw from you. And it's not a recent one. It's one of the ones on Alien Nation. And it was the woman that you're talking to in the mine and that couldn't
Okay.
shut up. Yeah.
God, I wish I never remember her name. Yes.
Yeah. You're trying to investigate. She just kept yep.
Yeah. She's a really nice lady.
Yeah,
Gail.
she seemed really
Her name
nice.
is
But,
Gail.
yeah, but
But
very talkative.
Yes. Yeah. She was
Shut up.
very, very nice. So I got very lucky to be able. The Cave of the Winds is what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
In Colorado. Her name is Gail. She's a very nice tour guide. Very into the paranormal, and I was very lucky that that company let me investigate the caves. But yes, are we talking about the Wendigo part, or which part are we talking about?
well, first off, when they said, well, you're not supposed to say that word, and it's like, well,
it was Wendigo.
too late.
Yeah.
It's too
She was
late
so
for that.
mad.
Then you kept saying it, and I was laughing my ass off.
Yeah, when she said it,
Andy is like, "You're not supposed to say that," and you said, "What, Wendigo?"
Yeah,
you did it again.
Yeah, when she said it, you should. If you felt what I was feeling at the time, I could feel like my whole, like I got chilled on my body, oh shit. I didn't need to say it.
I thought for sure that you
We've all done that.
Well, in my case, I'm sitting there listening. Okay, so I sit here, the TV's right there, and I can't really see it without, going back. So in my mind, I'm hearing you're not supposed to say that. And all I can see is that in my mind, you're blushing from head to toe because you're going, was I not supposed to say that? I mean, I don't remember that. I didn't know that I wasn't,
Yeah, I had to rewind it. I had to watch that part again. That was funny.
Yeah, we were laughing.
Yeah.
So, but
we have fun when we investigate anyway. We laugh a lot.
Yeah.
It's like some of the stories that she told made me laugh because how much of it was factual and how much of it was legend that of the stuff that happened. Like, this equipment's been here 150 years. It's just been sitting here. Nobody's touched it in this mine for all this time.
Yeah. I don't know. To be honest with you, the Wendigo part is probably the part where I'm like, I don't know about Wendigos being here in a cave in the middle of nowhere down there. If there is, it comes crawling out. You best believe my butt is out of this cave. And she just kept messing with me about spiders because I hate spiders.
Yeah.
God, I was a couple, I don't know, half a mile under the ground. I don't even remember how far I was.
Yeah, you had no service. You
out.
didn't even call for an ambulance if one landed on you and you ran into something.
Yeah. That was it was a really cool, unique experience to go investigate a cave. Never done that before, but no cell service down there. So that was probably the scariest part about it.
What's funny is in Kentucky, we saw this spider that was this big, as big as my hand.
Oh my God.
A wolf spider.
And it was a mama. It had laid eggs, and it was up inside this thing. And there's a man sleeping underneath it like he didn't see it. And I was like,
no.
And then on top of that, Missouri State Pen has spiders that big.
We have a lot of spiders where we investigate.
Yes, we do.
No matter what.
And the thing is I'll tell you, I'm terrified of spiders. I've pulled a random kid off the street to come into my house in Kansas and kill a spider for me. But yet I'll go into these places and I'll act like I don't care.
Yeah, no. If I see spiders people always want me to go to the damn basements of these places, and if there's spiders in there, I sure as hell will not go down there. I do not want to be near a spider. Nope.
Well, the other day we had a little black spider in our bathroom, and it's like 10 o'clock at night, and I say, I see it, and I go to Ron. I go, there's a spider in our bathroom. He goes, where are you going? I said, to get the vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, heck yeah. I mean, I would leave that thing running for 10 minutes to make sure it's dead.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I did. But I said, I ended up vacuuming up all the cat litter in the bathroom because I figured at least the litter would pelt it to death.
Yeah. God, that's awful. But yes.
I know.
Yeah. Speaking of spiders, I had I don't know if you've ever had this before, but I had a group down in the Sally House basement. We had it pitch black. There's probably 15, 20 people down there, right? We're doing a little investigation. And I'm kind of in the middle of the room. And somebody says, we're seeing some lights up in the corner. Okay. As you come down the stairs, right to the right in that corner there. And I'm looking, and about 5 or 6 people said, yeah, I see it now. And then everybody else is seeing it. And I'm sitting there going, and I turn on my flashlight real quick. I said, in this corner here. And they said, yeah, it's darting back and forth. So I turned my flashlight off, and I'm sitting there looking. I'm not seeing any lights at all. And they said, no. I said, what color is it? And they said, sometimes it's green, sometimes it's red. And I'm thinking, okay, somebody's got a little laser pointer way in the back, and they're messing with people. So I said, all right, well, I'm going to stick my hand up here and kind of, block it or, get in the way so they'll see my hand light up. Well, I stuck my hand up in the corner, and man, it felt like I put my hand in a spider web.
Oh God.
That spider web feeling, and it tingled all the way down my arm and then my shoulder, and my whole arm just tingled. I'm like, whoa, what the hell? And I turned my light on real quick. There wasn't one cobweb up there at all. I was expecting to see a spider web.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Oh God.
Well, I went, all right, is everybody actually seeing these lights, or we just saying this? And they said, no, we're seeing them. I didn't see it, but I don't know whatever was up in that corner, but man, that felt weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'll just sit back here and watch.
That was our first time,
Yeah.
being the liaison between
that's right. That was
with Becky.
Yeah, that was a bus tour thing.
Yeah, they needed it was the very first
dinner and a hop. Yep.
And we did that. We were the chamber. The chamber sent us to go with the paranormal investigators that they had already signed up. After that, the next year it was us. They said, you guys are doing it. We don't want anybody but you guys doing the haunted hop. And I was like, well, that was nice, but
never happened again.
No.
Now it's in the basement all the time there.
Well, I definitely saw spiders in the side house basement.
There is.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh God.
Loads of bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Then add in
ants.
Wasps. Big black flies.
Flies on the outside of the windows in the middle of winter.
Roly-polies. You name it.
Polies.
Huh?
I said, roly-polies. I haven't heard that term in forever.
I don't know what.
I guess that much.
I guess maybe they call them potato bugs in some places.
I never heard of that. I don't even know what they even call. I know they're just a nickname, roly-polies, but
yeah. As long as everybody knows, you touch it, it rolls up in a ball. That's why they called it that. But yeah, those, and not to mention the mildew, the mold, and the other crap in the house. But
you must have a lot of locations to go to. I mean, as much as you've moved around, you should have a pretty good beat on about every state.
Yeah, South Carolina and Colorado, they're not public. You think Colorado would have a lot of stuff because they have a cemetery. Well, they had a cemetery that's now a park, Cheeseman Park.
Yep, been there.
Yeah, but you would think that they would have a lot of publicly known places, but you wouldn't believe how many places that do not allow investigations. So I had to build my own list of places in Colorado and South Carolina, because you'd think the South as well would have a lot of haunted places, but a lot
South
of the
has a
museums,
shitload.
they do, but not in Greenville, South Carolina, or nothing like that. Those places out there, they just don't. It's a Bible Belt, and a lot of them
the
don't.
big Bible thumpers went out.
Yeah, they just don't like that type of stuff. So it was very hard to build around that. Yeah. Seems like there's a lot of more dead in the Midwest. As you can tell, even by driving, everything looks dead around you anyway. So there's nothing around.
Yeah. Well, like one of my bosses, when I was going to Denver a lot, bought me a tour downtown Denver. And so the Capitol Hill walking tour, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I went with Christopher Moon's dad. Okay. He was the one that did the tour. And it was just me and him, which is strange. It started at the Molly Brown house. And he took me all over. It was supposed to be an 1.5-hour tour, and it took us 3 hours to get through.
Wow.
But he took me to like the Croak Patterson house.
Is that the one where they kept doing the construction and the dogs
Dogs
Yeah, the
jumped out the
dogs jumped
window.
out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That one was
that's
weird.
a wild one.
But Christopher Moon has some great stories about that place because he was able to investigate it a long time before anybody knew anything about the area. And the Peabody, I don't know if it's called the Peabody Mansion or the Peabody House or whatever, but it's the Peabody. And we walked up on the front porch, and I'd been in Denver like 3 days. So if I was going to get elevation sickness, I'd have had it by then,
Yeah.
And so we walk up on the porch, and all of a sudden I can't hear out of one of my ears, just this side of my head, can't hear a damn thing. And so I had to, kind of lean closer to Chris's dad to hear what he was saying. And he goes, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I can't hear shit out of this ear," and it kept on, it did that all the way until I got back to Littleton. My ear would not, I could not hear anything. And the only thing I could think of is maybe there was something in that house that didn't want me to hear something.
Yeah.
Don't know what, but it was really strange. And another strange thing that happened is I got sick one time when we were in Denver. I'd flown in and I thought I was sick. Okay. I thought I had pulled a muscle or something in my back. I get there, find out I have shingles. I'm sick as hell.
Oh my God.
My coworkers bring me a book to the hotel because I couldn't work. I had to go home. And it was that book by the guy that was on Ghost Adventures that talked, kind of read the book to everybody. It was like this thick.
Yeah, word for word.
It's like he gave them every single fact about that part of Denver in this book. Okay. And he sat there and he was hit there, Gail. He wouldn't stop talking. But they brought me that book. And so after reading some of that, it kind of made a little bit more sense as to why I might possibly not wanted to, Spirit may not have wanted me to hear the story because it was of child abuse. And I'm a mother of 4. So that's the only thing I can think of. But it was really very strange. But, just in that book alone, there was probably 60 places in Denver that was haunted that they were talking about. But it kind of goes in circles like the way the guy talked. So you have to write it down, and when you're reading, go, "Oh, okay," and then put it all together, and then read a little bit more and go, "Oh, okay, this goes back here to page 73," and it was a horribly written book.
Yeah.
And you've written some books as well, right?
Yeah, I've written 4 books. Yeah, and three about my show Paranormal Encounters, and 1 fictional book called The Haunting of Moonlight Mansion. So, yeah.
So what do you like writing better, factual or your ghost hunting or the fiction?
Fiction. Nonfiction is hard. It doesn't sound hard, but it's hard to think back and think about things because, like, realistically, unless you're like the president or someone really, really famous or whatever, no one really cares about your biograph or anything like that. But fiction is more fun because you can play with the story and mess with people, and I don't have to. Nothing has to be real. You know what I mean? Right. So it's just fun to write a fictional book. I always wanted to write a fictional horror book, anyways, and that was a lot of fun to write. In fact, I got 2 other books that are fiction that have been sitting on my hard drive for about 1.5 years. I haven't even started and keep going up to finish or whatever. Yeah, I just never have time to do it.
You need to go in and at least change a word and resave it.
Yeah. I have it in multiple spots. I have one I was going to write about. It's like a murder mystery book, thriller book, and then I was going to do a prequel. I started, actually, technically it's 3 books, actually, when I think about it. I have a prequel and a sequel I'm working on for The Haunting of Moonlight Mansion. So, just never got back into finishing it.
I like things like Stephen King.
Yes.
Right? His stuff makes you think. It's not really horror. It's a suspense thriller.
Yeah.
Is what it is. I think about Rose Red. And yeah, there are parts of it that may be horror, but it doesn't seem like it when you're reading it.
Mm-hmm.
And 1408 is my favorite. One of my favorite. I stalked John Cusack for years until I met him, and now I don't care. But 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 I liked 1408. I liked the way that they took his story and made it real.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's hard.
It is very hard to, like, the first book I wrote was very easy because it was more therapeutic for me because I was going through quite a bit of stuff at the time when I wrote that book, and it was just each chapter was something different, but in the way I could connect them from the previous to the next chapter. But the books after that, the next two books, the Home Sweet Haunted Home and The Walls That Scream, those books were not easy because those were just one continuous story. Versus, like my first book had 10 different chapters with 10 different types of stories about like how I got into paranormal, my family's hauntings, everything like that.
So one was more short story based, and one is just is a novel.
Yeah. So yeah, the first one, it all connects and it tells you, but it's not like the in-between pieces. It's just more of like time jumps. So those are easier to write because it's one chapter about one entire time. But the next books after that were just one night, and one night to write a book is quite a bit. Most people write a book about their life, not one night of like 8 hours,
Oh, I know somebody who made a buttload of money off of just living in a house for 3 days.
Wow.
Yep, it was that haunted. 3 days made him a buttload of money.
Was it 3 days? I thought it was one night.
3 days altogether.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, we're not going to get into that.
So, have you ever been scratched on an investigation?
Yeah, so I have recently. Funny enough to
Just
say,
recently?
Yeah, it was recently.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was back in. I think this happened in December or end of November. It was literally last month. I went to Voodoo's Antiques Museum in Lansing, Michigan, and I actually got scratched. And I am not somebody on that goes and I was filming an episode. I'm not somebody who goes and says like overreacts to anything stupid because I'm not a kid. And so like when I got the scratch, I was trying to figure out everything that was possible to it, but I kept saying it could be a scratch. I don't want to tell somebody I got scratched and find out later on that I wasn't scratched, and I put out to the public that I was scratched, and then it's permanently like that. So like I try to keep an open mind about things, but I got scratched at the museum when I was in the museum section of this building because what they have is they have haunted objects that they believe are for sure haunted that they've tested and investigated themselves. And there's a mirror in there, a piece of a mirror where there was some, I don't know how to say it for YouTube, just not stuff that's right to happen to a person.
Okay,
And that mirror witnessed it. So like they think that there's a demon or whatever attached to the museum or some dark entity. And I don't go into places and for sure be like, oh my God, there's an entity, a dark entity in this place. I mean, I don't do that type of stuff because that's just over dramatic. So I went in there like that, not thinking that way. And I got told basically to get out of the museum on the Epoch device. And I kind of didn't leave right away because I wanted to further communicate with whoever was in there and try to figure out why they didn't want me in there. And then I got scratched. I started feeling a burning feeling on my left side of my neck. And John and his wife, the ones that run that museum and own it, I went to them because they were in the shop area, and I didn't touch my body or nothing like that. I had them pull my shirt themselves and take a picture of my neck, and then there was a scratch. And they do say people get scratched there, and they left out the part that there was a doll in there that scratches people and bites them on the ankles. And I was like, awesome.
So an ankle biter. So is it somebody's chihuahua is in this doll?
Probably. I mean, I don't know. I would imagine it'd be a lot louder to talk then. If that's the case, the chihuahuas don't shut up.
So
yeah.
Tom asks.
I was going to ask this question.
Do you ever attend Paracons?
Yes and no. I haven't attended one in over a year because I should say a year. It's almost been Yeah, it's been over a year now. Last one I attended was at the Fairfield County Infirmary. I was a guest there, and I attended that. I had my own table there, but I don't really attend Paracons. I would, but I just never. I see them, and they're literally happening a few days beforehand. I like to plan things, so I haven't. But this year in March, I am a guest at a Paracon. I guess it's a Paracon. It's sort of a free event that my friends of Paranormal Quest are going to be putting on, so I will be there.
Where's it at?
Good question. I think it's Ohio. I'm not really sure.
That sounds familiar. It does sound familiar.
Yeah, it does.
And I think Jason may have said
Was
something.
that Jason's?
No, it's not Jason's.
No.
Wait,
I think he's the one that told us.
Which part sounds familiar?
Ohio sounds
Ohio.
familiar.
I think it's Fairfield County Infirmary is not the place I'm going to. That was the one I went to, but their place they're going to, I don't know if I'm supposed to tell anybody it yet because I'm literally making their banner for it. But I want to say the place is in Ohio, and it's a poorhouse.
That's in Pennsylvania.
It's in Pennsylvania.
Including the Poor Farm Paracon in Waynesburg, Pennsylvania. Does that sound about right?
What's the place?
Says the Poor Farm Paracon.
No, it's not that. No. I would tell you, I would literally tell you, but I don't know if they want me to say it yet because they haven't. I don't know if they've announced it yet. But that's why I'm working on the banner for them so they can announce it. But that one I will be attending. It's a free event for anybody to come to, for their subscribers or anybody, and it's a free ghost hunt. So that's what I can tell you. It's free. So not spending money, but traveling. But that's one I will be at this year. I do want to go to more Paracons this year and be a civilian or somebody, just show up.
That's how we go. I don't like going and having a table and all this other crap. I want to go and walk around and talk to everybody.
Anything.
Yeah. I don't want to be chained to the table.
Yeah. I like to go to the Gettysburg one this year. I tried to last year.
I want to go to that one too.
I tried to in 23, but I couldn't. I couldn't make it there in time because I had filming going on that weekend. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, we're supposed to go.
Yeah, we have friends that have already got their hotel rooms, and Cat Hopkins.
Planning on, or
we're trying
things
to
plan on. So
yeah, Cat Hobson's going. Mike and Susan that are in the chat, they're planning on going. Rosalie is another friend of ours that's going. It's a ton of people.
Yeah, I might see you guys there.
Yeah, I'm from Baltimore. I mean, I used to go to Gettysburg on school field trips back in the 70s. So
yeah, if you're there and we are, we'll run into you.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll make sure I run into you really hard so you know it's
me. Please.
Wake up. You've been filming too much. Wake up.
I know, right? Well, last 2 nights, oh my God, I feel so dead tired. Like before I got on this podcast with you guys, I had to take a nap because it wasn't that far of a drive, but last night just zapped me. And Saturday when I was filming, I went live on YouTube and I was filming. It was so cold that thing just took everything out of you. It was just awful.
When you're cold and you stiffen up. Yeah, we used to do we're volunteers at McPike Mansion in Alton, Illinois. Yeah. You need to go there sometime if you get a chance. But we are volunteers there, and we've been there when it's
pretty chilly.
Freezing rain a little bit. We've been there for that. We've been there when it's 70 degrees in October, and we've been there when it's 30 degrees. We just went in October, and for us, it was cold because, we're not used to that anymore. And then after that, the week later, we took David there, him and Charlie. You guys all know him as Charles.
To Ashmore.
Yeah. And we went to Ashmore and froze our asses off there. We thought that was going to be our coldest night this year. Who'd have thunk?
I hate the cold. I literally don't like investigating in the wintertime because my body can't take the cold. I just hate it. It's not a fun time to investigate.
Yeah, we stiffen up.
Yeah.
So it sucks. And luckily at McPike we always have a fire, but we didn't even start a fire at Ashmore, and we could have. We just didn't. So I don't know.
We didn't start till almost midnight.
Yeah, I know. But I will say the outhouse at least has heat.
Never
at
been there
Ashmore.
yet.
Well, they had just opened it. We were the first ones to sign the wall.
Oh, wow.
At least it wasn't with shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so at least we got in there before it stunk.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, they lock it up once they can turn the water back on. I was like,
You haven't been to Asheville
no, it hasn't been to Ashmore since they got the.
or Ashmore?
Yeah, no,
Wow.
I've never been there.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you need to go.
I know. I've been meaning to go out there. Just haven't. Not sure. I actually, the older I get, the more I hate driving anymore. So the furthest I've driven recently, like last year, I think, was like almost 5 hours. That's as far as I've driven right now. I hate driving so long.
Well,
So
I'll tell you, we get 5 hours. We're in Atlanta and we're stuck and screwed. You know,
yes,
because that's the worst part about going to South Carolina. Well, going anywhere that direction is Atlanta.
yes, yeah.
So
I've been to Atlanta and I hate the traffic.
Mm-hmm.
there's no way around it. I told him, I said, if somebody, had a toll road where you could bypass it, I said, I'd pay the toll
Mm-hmm.
to bypass it. But when you lived in Greenville, was there any place that you would recommend somebody to go check out? Because the only place so far that we've been,
Brandon said it's tough finding.
yeah, the only place that we've been to out there has been the mill out there. What is that?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Hansville.
No, not Hansville.
Not Hansville.
Like,
But
does
yeah,
it need
Haygood.
Haygood Mill.
The Haygood Mill in Pickens. We've been there multiple times, but every time we've went, it's closed. So, we just go and take the kids and play with the chickens and the cats.
To be honest with you, there's nothing out that way besides a battlefield.
Right.
But I've never been there yet. But there really isn't anything. When I was living there, I was driving 10 hours and then filming that night and then driving 10 hours and back the next day. So there really is not anything to film out that way or check out. And if there is, and there are some places, there actually is the Army Museum downtown of Greenville, but I've never been there because I couldn't get a date with the people that run it. But other than that, though, there really isn't anything. I couldn't even. There was a place I went to that was, I forget the town, but I filmed a family haunting there, and it was wild. But they don't do public investigations, and I don't even think they own the house anymore. So I would have told you that place because that place is for sure weird. But other than that, though, there's nothing in Greenville.
Our friend Tom McNicholas, he's in Chicago. He's got some pretty good connections there.
Okay.
If you want to head down there, so it's 4.5 hours from you.
He is actually, I don't even think he's 4.5 hours. I think he's because like Gary, Indiana to me is about an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes. So he's a lot closer than 4.5 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe he's saying 4.5 hours away from either from McPike, maybe.
Well, yeah, McPike, but it's
Chicago.
No.
Yeah, Chicago's about, I think, 2 hours away.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there.
We had on a guy
in Chicago.
Yep.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. We had a guy on a couple weeks ago who writes for a publication in Greenville called The Lantern.
It's a dangerous city.
And he said that he just got signed to do a book about haunted South Carolina. So he's got a whole bunch of stories that he's picked up from people. He said that people would either talk to him or they wouldn't. It was one or the other. It was like some people would talk about how haunted this place was, and then he'd bring it up to somebody else and they go, no, and they'd turn around and walk away from him.
Yeah, there is places, but there again, like we talked about earlier, they are very religious in the South, and especially in that state, and they are not letting people go in and do things. Like there's a couple places that do weddings that are for sure supposed to be haunted, but they don't allow investigations. So I just kind of just didn't even want to try too much in South Carolina because the way I look at it is like I'm not trying to sound conceited when I say this, but I'm trying to give people time to allow me to go into places, because that way it could help them get exposure or get seen, and would help out business anyways as a side
Right.
revenue
Right.
for investigating. But if somebody's just going to keep saying no to me, I'm just not going to bother keep pressing it, because there's no point.
Right.
Well, I tell you, I think that a lot of places are shooting themselves in the foot for knocking out one form of tourism.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like Leavenworth, Kansas. Leavenworth, Kansas is more haunted than Atchison, Kansas.
Yeah.
It's just that they just don't allow the they deny their paranormal roots. You know, of any town that has 9 prisons, 7 or 9, and the history of just Atchison being, or Leavenworth being, the oldest city west of the Mississippi,
Mm-hmm.
that right there gives you something, you
Yeah.
know. And I mean, and the founding of it is amazing by the Army, just as an outpost. Hey, let's put our criminals here. If they make it through the winter, you know, great. If they don't, if they try to escape, either the Missouri River will kill them or the Indians will. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which one's going to kill you first, you know? But yeah, I mean, I know people who own houses in Leavenworth that were sharing their haunted stories with us, and it was much more believable than a lot of the stories that we got from Atchison. And I'm sorry, but we were tour guides for everything in Atchison for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
The you know, we had to know every haunted story about every haunted location there, from, you know, the villa to Sally's house to, you know, the south end of town up to the Amelia Earhart Airport. We had to know them all. And the stories that we had to tell were so unbelievable compared to the stories that you heard in Leavenworth that were, wow, I can't believe it, you know, because it's more, it sounds more true,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't get a lot of the stories that places will tell you that are lies, and then when you go back and you find out the truth, it's the truth is so much more better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of times it is.
Mm-hmm.
What about McIntyre?
Oh, we loved it.
We love, you know what? We were in McIntyre we would tell the stories about the McIntyre Villa. We did a film with Joe Citrone and Richard Grund back in 2017. And that was actually the first time we ever went in the villa, as well. It was up for sale. So it wasn't owned by Stephanie yet. So we knew the previous owners. And so it was great. You know, we got to use some of the footage from there for their film. And then we investigated there before we moved with Katie Stafford and Brandon Cooper and some other people.
And
Sarah Lemos.
yeah, Sarah Lemos.
So we got to do that. And it is an interesting, it's an interesting
you got
story.
Scratched in the basement.
I got scratched in the basement. But it's a neat place.
Like
have you
10
been
minutes
there?
after we started. Oh, yeah.
Have you ever been to the McIntyre?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Stephanie's a really nice person. Yeah, she let me have the opportunity to go to the McIntyre. I for sure have been there once. I don't think I've been there twice, but yeah, I've been there. It's pretty creepy.
Like I said, our experiences were mostly, if that house ever goes up for sale, I'd like to buy it. But by then I already found out I didn't want to live up there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we lived 90 miles away. So
Oh,
when
wow.
we were going up there to volunteer, we were driving 90 miles there, 90 miles back, of course. And we loved that house. And the price that they were asking for it was great.
Yeah, if you're in Alton, you got to hit McPike. Just let us know if you're in that area. We'll give Sharon a call and she can get in touch with you. And
yeah, maybe when the weather gets nicer. I'm more so traveling more so in the springtime, further distances. So
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
We know why.
Yeah, I know.
We don't have,
Yeah,
you don't have to explain it to us.
Yeah, no, yeah, I just more so springtime is when I'm probably going to start heading out that way and a little bit further out and stuff.
Yeah, with Sharon, if you mention if you go to McPike and you just mentioned my name, before you walk away from her, she's already got me on the phone calling me to ask me about you.
Yep.
So
Don't
she
let
takes
this guy in.
No,
no.
no. I asked Tom. Tom will tell you.
Denise has got the connection.
Yeah, we got the connections.
Yep.
Okay.
That's how she.
Yep, she'll treat you like a king.
Yep. As long as I say you're good, she's good.
Okay. Well,
now we
might have
did
to
tell
check
her
up on
some
that.
people
I did. I did tell.
don't give them the time of day. You're not one, but there's been a few people that snuck in and said they knew us or
And she called me.
tried.
So,
Yeah,
you know.
that's why she called.
Yeah, that's why she calls.
Said, hey, so and so's here. And we're like,
Why?
why?
Wow.
Oh, you didn't know? Oh no.
My God.
We've had somebody else just recently call me and ask me to send them an itinerary of places to visit. And I made sure I told them that Sharon's not doing tours right now because it's wintertime and she's not walking well. And it's the truth.
Yeah.
But I said, I wouldn't go to McPike right now during this time of the year. She doesn't need to be crossing the street.
Mm-hmm.
And they mess with her. They start messing with her.
There's lots to do there in Alton anyway. It's not the only thing. But
we went to
cat is bugging me.
We went to the we went to the graveyard there. They have this really interesting whispering wall. Have you ever been around a whispering wall?
No,
So
a few miles away.
It's right in basically.
You got to check it out.
It's just up the street from the the hotel, the Mineral Springs Hotel. And it's up on this hill, very high. So it's in one of the highest spots of Alton. And it is the Reverend Lovejoy, Reverend Elijah Lovejoy Monument is what it's called. Mm-hmm. And Ron sat on one side, I sat on the other, and you're supposed to whisper. Could hear him perfectly. He could hear me perfectly. My voice carries anyway, but in a whisper, you could hear it. It is that acoustically sound that where you can. So it's just a really neat thing to see. But Reverend Lovejoy Monument is huge because a lot of the abolition Henry McPike's buried there as well. But
just maybe 200 feet from that.
Yeah.
Wow.
But what's neat about it is Reverend Lovejoy was an abolitionist, and he died trying to free the slaves, basically, through his newspaper. So, long story short, that's the short story of it. But it's the history in Alton is just very interesting.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to go out that way and check that out. I like to check out the McPike Mansion.
Well, I know you're tired. I know that you'd like to go lay down.
No, I'm good right now.
Oh, are you?
Nap, but yeah, I'm good. No, I'm good.
Well, I'm sorry that it took me so long to get the show banner out today because I woke up this morning with a horrible migraine, and I saw that I was like, okay, good, thank you, and down went my phone and down went me.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean by migraines. Migraines put me out for at least a day or so, for me at least. So I take like 3 showers just try to sit on the bottom of the tub trying to get rid of the headache, you know what I mean, for a while. But I get migraines, so I know what that feeling is like.
It sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And, because I have a new doctor, they don't know my history. And guess what? I can't just call and say, hey, can you call me in some Ubrelvy?
Mm-hmm.
I have to go. It's bad timing, too. This is the week of the cruise,
Mm-hmm.
So
float trip.
Ron keeps calling it a float trip.
Well, hopefully your float trip is migraine free.
That's why I'm going to the doctor on Wednesday, and hopefully they can get me something, just, a quick, something that works quickly, relief medication, because, some stuff works great sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
And what works for one person doesn't work for another.
That's right.
But I did pack an ice bag just in case.
An ice bag.
Yeah, so because sometimes if you put it on your neck, it'll help with your head.
Yeah. No, I was gonna make a joke, but I think it would have been an awful joke, and I couldn't figure out what I was gonna say. It's the Titanic sunk from an ice cube, pretty much.
Yeah, big. Well, here's something funny. The boat that we're going on, they cut it in half and put in a new section to make it bigger.
Oh God.
So that right there made me go, "Oh, that's not good."
Yeah. Hopefully, they sealed it up right. Super glue. No, just kidding.
Well, you think the good thing is they did it a while ago, so it would have sunk by now.
Some good
I
super
think it
glue.
would have sunk by now if they did it a while ago. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. It's not its maiden voyage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not as maiden. Maybe they used alien tape.
Hopefully something strong. God.
I don't know. It's got 11 floors plus the other stuff. So, I mean, this thing's huge. I've never been on a boat this big, and I don't think I've ever been near a boat this big. I've seen a Carnival cruise ship in the Bahamas, so I don't know.
Do you get a lot of calls from people wanting you to investigate their house?
Residential?
No, I wish I got calls.
Really?
No, I never get calls or any kind of emails, which I'm surprised about. But
Wow.
finding residential places is super hard. I always try to what's the word? I kind of evaluate the place because
you have to.
I've had somebody reach out to me on an email and tell me that they heard some noise or whatever, but they send audio clip or whatever, and it sounded literally just a kid that was with them or something like that. So it's just hard to siphon through those things. But I'd love to get calls or even emails. I've asked many times before, hey, if you know any haunted houses or if your house is haunted, let me know. And crickets, So I like to do more of those, but there just isn't any, not enough, whatever. And somebody's doing them all the time. I don't think it's all haunted houses.
No, it's not. It's maybe 20%. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of calls when we were in Kansas City, but
wow.
Well,
I mean, maybe 20% of them were actually legit haunt.
Yeah, the bulk of them were electrical problems or,
a tree growing to the roof and watching the squirrel go across the a tree branch into the roof and scratch around on. They said they're hearing scratching in their in their ceiling. It's like, oh, that's that squirrel or two that's getting in your roof. Oh no, that can't be. Well, that's what it is.
We had one that
sorry,
they were hearing buzzing in their walls. It was a beehive.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so because I'm sitting there going,
I hear it.
I hear it. And we go outside.
Are they more active in the day?
Yeah.
Does it go away in the winter?
Yeah. Do you hear it all in the wintertime? Not a little weird.
So, but yeah.
No, we did have some. We had some that were legit. They were pretty good.
Yeah. We had a beehive in our wall. That's how I knew what the sound was.
Thank God.
But yeah, I mean, sometimes they want it to be haunted so bad, and other people have told them that it is, or said, "Oh, you got this," and I've said it. If I haven't said it once, I've said it 1,000 times.
Oh, yeah.
When people sit there and say it's a demon, and then you have to prove that it's not, is even worse.
God, this demon stuff. I wish this demon fad would die out.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I go to another haunted house, I'd like to have a story with it because, I told you guys from the start, I'm more about storytelling, and I don't want to just go to some place where somebody's like, "Oh, the TV turns on every once in a while" or something like that, something weird. I want an actual story, because one of the favorite ones I went to was where I filmed that woman whose husband passed away. She was getting text messages from him, and he's been dead for 16 months. So that was really interesting to go to, and actually having proof that she had picture proof of the text messages, which is really cool to see because it's something beyond the grave that somebody's reaching out to you. It's not an iPhone or no way of a phone. It was an Android phone that was shut off. And if you know anything about iPhones, you can text over the internet, regardless of service or not. So that added another form of this is probably believable for me.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
What about
So,
was
Yeah,
it? Were you seeing it on his old phone?
it's rare.
no,
And
she took a picture of it in her car. She was only, so this is the weirdest part is she was getting the text messages because some cars can get text messages while you're driving the CarPlay or what have you. She was getting them in her car, and when she would get out of her car and turn it off, those text messages would disappear from her phone completely and from the car. And there was no actual number attached to it. It would show up as
Right.
his name, but the number was like 00000 or something
Yeah.
weird like that. And then no message in the message, or the message in it was like his social security number or something weird like that. And the phone number was recycled because he used that phone number for his work, because that was a work phone. And like the guy has passed away for 16 months, so the number would have been definitely recycled to somebody else, whether it's a personal personal or business number. So it was very interesting to go there and investigate that, because that helped create a nice story. Because everybody that watches videos like that, they want to have a story to be told, like that, whether it's a history or an experience. And I like those type of things. Those type of hauntings are my favorite because they have factual proof to back up what their claims are. And I thought that was really cool to see those text messages that she was getting.
she wasn't getting told to do things, was she?
No, she was not. No, she literally would see things out of the shadow. She even had her nephew witness shadows, and he's like a little kid, like I think it was like 3, 4 year old, 5 year old, was seeing shadows in their bedroom. And that helped add more to it, credibility, because a little kid's seeing this stuff and he doesn't really know anything about paranormal.
Right.
And he came home with her. So like what happened is he died to an aneurysm, and he was going up the ladder from their basement. To go up the basement, they don't even have staircases. They have just like a normal metal ladder, and he was climbing up the ladder and had an aneurysm, fell and died. And he came home with her because they were out shopping or doing something, and he was in the house when she found him. So it was a very, very sad and emotional investigation, because I involved her in it to help her ask questions and try to get some closure. But it's also one of the ones too you got to be kind of like delicate with, because it's somebody else's home and their story. So I kind of like let those type of people take over and talk to themselves so they can work through whatever unanswered questions that they have. So
That's good. I mean, you're providing closure. It's like, remember the question I asked you about the shortest amount of time somebody had been dead so mine is 6 months.
Yeah.
And it wasn't well, technically it's not a haunted location, but we were at a family event, and I was sitting there and I got really uncomfortable, and Ron's sitting on one side of me.
That's why.
And Ron's mom's on the other side. And Ron goes, "What's wrong?" And it's a happy time. Our niece has announced that she's getting married just before that, and our other niece had just graduated from high school. And we were very proud of our nieces and stuff. And I could see one spirit in the house already, but I expected her. I knew her. But this other one, he kept getting in my face and just, and Ron goes, "What's wrong?" And I go, "There's this man." And he goes, "What?" I said, "There's this man that won't leave me alone."
Yeah, with that woman there.
But I didn't know who he belonged to. And he goes, "Well, what's wrong?" I said, "My chest hurts, really bad." I said, "It doesn't feel like my chest is hurting, but I'm hurting, And Ron's mom, she goes, "What's wrong?" And I told her, and she goes, "Well, that lady over there, her husband died from a heart attack 6 months ago."
Wow.
And I said, "Oh, okay." And then the guy started speaking up and saying stuff. And I didn't want to really go talk to her because I didn't know her. I didn't know who this woman was. She wasn't part of our family.
Now you know why we don't use much equipment.
So
we bring it with us.
So I talked to Ron's mom, and she said, "I would want to know if it was my husband." So I walk over and I tell her, and I said, "Your husband passed away, right?" I said, "I need to make sure." I said, "Because he's here." And she goes, "Yeah." I said, "He said stop spending his money." And she goes, she started laughing. And I said, he said, stop spending his money. She goes, that's funny because I just spent a whole bunch of money on the house.
Oh my God, that's weird. Awesome.
And she goes, I have been to multiple mediums and every one of them tells me about my mother. Not one of them tells me about my husband. Not one of them. And I say, well, you don't ever go to a medium and tell them who you want to talk to. I said, because that's how you can tell who's real and who's not.
Right. Yep.
And I said, because they're going to assume that at our age that, more than likely a mother figure has passed.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, this lady, she took down my name and she said, she goes, send me everything that he said to you. She goes, because this is the only information I've ever gotten about my own husband.
Wow. That is really cool though, to help validate something like that.
Well, like I said, sometimes I just don't want to say
that's when you should have said, but now he says, go ahead and spend some money.
Yeah.
Pay me.
He said, give me $300,000. I'm just kidding.
No, it's actually
we haven't charged nobody.
2.2. That's the number. 2.2.
That's right. That's right.
That's the number I need to retire.
Oh, God.
So, because I have to feed this cat that just climbed up here.
Oh yeah, my dog is laying on the floor. She keeps bugging me the entire time. You guys are talking to me. There's a podcast. She just keeps coming up to me because it's time for her to, you know what. Yep. So she just keeps coming up to me over here, and now she's laying on the floor. She's a husky.
Yeah.
Well, this cat here that's trying to say hi to everybody.
Hello.
She's part Maine Coon, so she's big.
Oh wow, I have like a black Maine Coon looking cat somewhere around here. He was over here earlier messing my cord when you guys were talking. I'm like, dude, go away, and he ran away out to the kitchen somewhere. I don't know where he went now.
So what's your cat's name?
I have two cats and a dog. My black cat his name is Eclipse. My orange cat, his name is Butters, and my dog's name is Luna.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, we've got, this is Dee. Her brother was Sam, Sam and Dean.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
And
cats.
Then our other cats are Coco and Keela. So Sam, though, ate everything. I mean, he would eat furniture, so we got rid of him.
Oh, my God.
Well, somebody wanted him.
Somebody wanted him.
Yeah.
And it was our daughter, so we let her have him. And then he ate her furniture, and she didn't want him anymore. So now he's a farm cat somewhere.
I have never heard a cat doing that.
Me either. He ate blinds, you name it. He wanted to eat furniture. So, but they're big cats. And so, and all of ours are rescues.
Oh wow, yeah. All of our animals are too.
So, well, it sounds like you're a good pet owner. And well, we're at the end of the show. Can you tell everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, they can watch Paranormal Encounters on YouTube for free. It's youtube.com/Paranormal Encounters, or you can just go to the search, type in Paranormal Encounters, you'll see it pop up. You could even watch on Alienation, like you guys mentioned, on TV. Apple TV, Roku, Plex, all those other platforms I may or may not know about. Tubi, I think, too, but all the episodes, including current ones, are all on YouTube.
Okay. So. And you have a new episode every Saturday?
Yep, Saturdays, spooky Saturdays, at 6 p.m. Eastern time. There are new episodes. There's a brand new episode come out Saturday at a haunted house, and it was very spooky and extremely active. And I'm super excited for everybody to see what happened, because some of the stuff that happened is pretty phenomenal. And there are special guests in this episode this weekend as well. And something happened that was wild while we did the Estes session in the episode.
Do you still have your Patreon?
Yes, and I got Patreon. Thank you for reminding, because I always forget. Patreon, channel memberships, Patreon members already know where this episode's at this weekend. Or maybe they don't. I don't know. They know where the people I collabed with went. But anyways, Patreon, channel memberships, those are good ways to support the YouTube channel, help me book locations and travel, because it is not cheap.
Yeah. And do you still have your merchandise
Yes, I have a website too, where they can see all the social media, and there'll be more stuff being added on throughout the summer of this year, as far as more functionality of the website. But that's paranormalencounterstv.com, and that's where they can get merch, see the episodes, social medias, everything like that. We've got pants, which is pretty cool. I have sweats, hats, jackets, book bags, all kinds of stuff like that.
Maybe you need to have heaters.
I definitely, yes, I do. I need like those like gloves that heat you, you know what I mean? Especially when you're going to places. That would actually probably have done well in this winter time.
Yeah. This winter.
Well, we took all the hot hands we could find in our house with us when we went to Illinois.
Yeah, I'm surprised we moved them.
And we also needed those hot hands when we went to one of the parades here. So we lucked out because you can't find hot hands here.
Oh, yeah, of course. This is Florida. You're not supposed to have cold weather.
No, you're not supposed to.
But yeah, the next time we go up north, if they have them on clearance, I'm going to grab some.
Yes, I need to get some. I should have had them for Saturday and I didn't.
I like the ones that you can plaster onto your skin.
Yeah, and not have blisters on my body then. Look like I got hit by an octopus or something. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Well, or at least have it stick to your t-shirt underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to check out your new shows when we get back.
Yeah.
Or the new episodes.
Yeah, you guys are definitely going to
we'll be gone.
You guys are definitely want to see the one on Saturday for sure.
Oh, yeah.
The Saturday one is very cool. This place that's come out Saturday. It will be my third time at this location, and every time I've gone, it's gotten even spookier, even more activity is happening. I don't know why, but trying to figure that out.
Familiarity?
Yeah, they probably know you by now.
Probably, but even not just myself, other people are experiencing even more crazier activity. And when I walked in the house last night, it had a very unsettling vibe to it, and I think that was a good feeling because things happened that night, last night. So
yeah, those nights are fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to sleep then.
Yeah. I got home at like 3-ish in the morning. I know some people stay out all night, but I don't stay all night when I film. But 3 in the morning's the latest I've been up in a long time. So, especially no sleep from the night before from filming.
We're gonna know all about the no sleep here soon.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna come back from vacation, and I'm gonna need a vacation
from the vacation.
Always do. Yeah.
Well,
always do.
We got family members like to drink a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We don't. We end up having to be the guide dogs to get everybody back to their rooms.
Yeah. No one really in my family drinks or whatever, which is great, because then I don't have to be the DD, but I don't really drink anymore. I used to like drinking wine, but don't do any of that anymore.
It gets old. Mm-hmm. And then you forget half the shit that you want to remember. You want to remember how to blackmail these people later.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be the one that's sober so you can do it to them.
Well, I told him.
The next day they're yelling at you like, "You said you loved me last night.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
I told him. I said,
"We carried you to your room."
Ron doesn't carry a cell phone. Okay. Hardly ever. So I told him, I said, you have to take your cell phone on this trip because you have to use it for blackmail.
It's the Love Boat.
And it's the name of the boat is Enchantment of the Seas.
That's a really cool name, but also to make sure you take pictures.
Oh yeah. I know. I got a feeling. I know that there's going to be something. I told Ron, he goes, are you doing a seance? I said, I'm going to do one on the boat. I'm going to charge people for it. It's going to be one of the events.
Yeah, we were at a family reunion. My cousin comes running in the backyard, says, "Hey, Ron, you know your wife's in there doing a seance?" I'm like, "No, she's not." "Oh, yeah, she is."
Oh my God.
I said, "I know she isn't. She don't do that. She don't even know how."
Yes, I do know how, but I don't need to. But still, it was just funny. So,
oh God.
But yeah, I told him I was going to start charging people, but depending upon how much it costs to get a drink on the damn boat, I may have to charge
$15 for a 6-ounce cup.
Well, we just spent, what was it?
$50
on the 12
something every day.
2 12-packs of water.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But we can bring our own. We can each bring a 12-pack of water with us.
Okay.
So we're doing that.
Your whole carry-on is nothing but water bottle packs.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you can only, and it has to be unopened. The case
wow.
has to be unopened. So we've got those. So we got it all done. So, but I would like to thank everybody for joining us tonight. There will be no Paranormal Pride next Monday night at 7 p.m. Central because I will be in Mexico. Don't know where Ron will be because I think it's very close to Groundhog Day. So keep that in mind. So, but besides that, please join us tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Central.
It's a funny story.
Yeah, it's a great story. We'll all hear it later. So
she'll tell it when she gets back.
Join us all tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Central for Ron, Carl, and myself on Paranormal Nation Radio, Not So Normal. And I will surprise you guys with a great guest, as I always do. So make sure you join us there. Please make sure you tune in to Things Network. That we're part of Things Network, where they're Things family of paranormal, Things Paranormal family for Florida. Carl is our producer for Missouri. We are also on Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment. You can also find us on my LinkedIn page, as well as YouTube and the Paranormal Pride Facebook page. Let's see. Oh, and really important, you can find us on Dark Realm TV on Roku and Amazon Fire TV, soon to be coming to Apple TV. Yeah, Apple TV. So join us. Have a good time, and I hope everybody has a great week. Good night, and see you soon.
Good night, everybody.